Chapter 10. As the plan for control of this planet calls for the shutting down of the freedom of even the thoughts of the inhabitants, so also at the same time the desire to expand their experience becomes activated. It is the inability to connect with the greater aspect of each that allows the controllers to continue the closing down of the human awareness. The controllers believe that they are solely responsible for the creation of the human beings that inhabit this earth. Through genetic manipulations made in laboratory experiments and by birthing the first chemically manipulated embryos through their own bodies, the controllers believe the resulting humans are their product and solely their possessions. What they do not recognize is what might be called the divine connection that was present in the first place. The basic being that was available in the beginning was not of their creation and thus contained the possibility of evolving into fully functioning humans within their own timeline. Those were present on this planet through the focus that indeed holds even the controllers within their own expression. It is necessary to go back further in the process of the laws of the universe allowing for manifested awareness to be present. Potentiality has birthed itself to explore the possibilities that are inherent within it. In order to do this, there must be the ability to observe its processes of doing this. The ability to observe is what is called awareness. Thus to create situations, circumstances, and observable phenomena and explore the results, there must also be present within the totality the ability to observe and draw conclusions with regard to this process. The result is that various foci of this ability to observe, experience and draw logical conclusions have created endless varieties of foci with various abilities to do this. Each and all do this in their own way and the sum total of their experience influences the potentiality of expression within a given greater focus. In this way, by expanding the consciousness in an attempt to gain a view of the greater picture, it can be concluded that the positive, negative experiences feed their data into the greater awareness of this collective focus. Through a lack of understanding of the overall purpose of self-awareness and the presence of this greater awareness, these individual centers become caught up in their own experience, thus cutting themselves off from the totality to which they belong. What might be called power trips happen. There is within your vernacular a cruder saying that refers to this situation. So, in this moment, humanity is sitting in the middle of that reference. Because of one ingredient within the format of the universal laws, the responsibility for curing this type of situation must remain with those experiencing it. This ingredient is called free will, or choice, or the responsibility of decision. Humanity has the free will to choose to change its experience or to continue the current experience. This is not a new thought within the continuity of these messages, that is because there is no other solution. Because of this, it is repeated over and over from as many contexts and approaches as can be presented in order to make this point as clear and as emphatic as possible. Needless to say, if there were another way, it certainly would have been brought forth in the information that is being made available to you. It is imperative that the responsibility for creating this change in experience be firmly planted within the attitude and understanding of as many human minds as possible. The possibility of being able to do this seems remote in the context of the overwhelming control measures that are being thrust upon you. That in itself should indicate that such measures are necessary in order to overwhelm the powerful potentiality that the human mind, once organized into a common opinion or focus, has within it. When mankind does direct its focus within the understanding of its power to create through agreement to hold a single focus, there is no way in which it can be overwhelmed, particularly if that focus is in harmony and agreement with other citizens within the surrounding galactic community. The question then arises as to how to bring a squabbling group of opinionated beings into agreement. The controllers are attempting to do this, only for the purposes of its focus. In regimenting the thoughts of humanity toward their goal, they are also regimenting the subconscious thought patterns more and more toward resistance and opposition to their planned goals. In other words, they are also helping to set up the possibility of the failure of their plans. In past experience, their plans have worked to keep humanity under their control. This time, however, their human counterparts are more intelligent, far more educated and have tasted more freedom than ever before. This gives them a greater opportunity to come together in agreement, particularly with the yet present ability to connect via the communication capabilities available. Though plans to bring this capability to an end are definitely formulated, there is yet opportunity to access them to great advantage. It is hoped that these messages, though containing shocking and discouraging content, also offer hope and suggest opportunities that can be put to use by those of mankind that are awake and aware. The future may yet hold promise for the transition of the planet and its inhabitants into true freedom to return to the path of evolvement. The future need not be dark with the promise of continued slavery. Chapter 11. As each reader moves through the various stages of encompassing the reality of the greater picture of humanity and its plight of the moment, the process of accepting changing perceptions becomes a familiar experience. The material has thus far begun at a simple level and progressed through levels of understanding. We are now at a place to begin encompassing the understanding of those that would continue holding humanity in captivity. Just as they have attempted to know humanity's capabilities for their purposes, it is also necessary that they be understood. Though their understanding of humanity has failed to include the divine connection which they have claimed exclusively as their own, humanity's other attributes are well understood. In order for those that have contemplated the information within these messages to have a clear and balanced understanding of the entire picture, it is important to know more about their counterparts. The expansive flow of creation extends itself not only in the manifestation of more planets, stars, galaxies, etc., it also allows for limitless expansion of the awareness. It is difficult for the mind, brain that is not operating at its full capacity to contemplate the concept of what limitless and timeless could mean. Within this concept there is allowance for forays into both positive and negative expression that feed back to the wholeness of knowledge and wisdom within a collective composite. In the consideration of the wholeness, then each individual awareness seems like a grain of sand on the beach and causes each to then wonder as to the importance of their personal experience. Is it of such little value that pain and suffering are meaningless to this composite awareness? Is it even aware of all of its parts? Here again the mind, brain that has been focused only upon itself and its personal experience has cut itself off from this wholeness of which it is a part. It is the contemplation of the wholeness and its meaning that allows for participation within it. It is in stretching the awareness to purposefully include itself within the composite that its importance to that composite becomes known. Having come forth through the auspices of a group awareness that is focused upon its own importance, that attribute has carried through to humanity. In contemplating a new paradigm of experience, it is this key of including itself within the composite wholeness rather than focusing only upon itself that will bring forth the freedom that humanity has as the impetus for change. To put this in less abstract terms, it is the desire to become participating members of the galactic family and to extend their perception that the purpose of life experience is greater than each individual experience and each planetary experience that will bring this forth. When it is realized that harmony of experience is found by expressing within the immutable laws of the universe and not in ignoring them, then experience can be shaped into progress and joyful expression. Recognizing these laws as the basis within which all manifestation is expressed, it becomes possible to recognize imbalance for what it is and to transcend it. Technological progress is not a true measure for progress within the creative expansion of potentiality. Those who have focused primarily on this one purpose often destroy their creation through misuse of that focus. It has sometimes caused the distortion of the progress of others, a situation with which humanity on this planet can certainly identify. In this way, those who are again attempting to play at their control and destruction games have placed this planet and its inhabitants in danger of destruction. Imbalance is projected through failure to recognize the potentiality of self-aware beings to pursue their inherent evolvement processes has brought both the givers and the receivers of this policy to a point where the significant decisions each will make will influence their progress. Each will reap the results of these decisions. Each has the potential power to change the path of their evolvement by the actions taken through the next few sequential events to be shaped by the decisions made both individually and collectively. It is important to grasp that the individual does influence the collective decision, both directly and indirectly. What that means is that though the individual is bound by the group decision through composite agreement, it also allows for that individual to free itself from the group decision by forming or becoming a part of a smaller group with a different focused purpose. This smaller focused group, by invoking the second law of the universe, the focus of intentional manifestation, then separates itself from the greater group and does change the path or experience of its evolvement. It is for this reason that the messages have encouraged the formation of smaller groups with the intended purpose of creating a new paradigm of experience. Those who have evolved beyond the need to participate in the victim consciousness that holds them within the grasp of the controlling civilization and locks the two groups into this situation as it now exists, have the opportunity to salvage this planet and its inhabitants. They may at least create an opportunity for a sizable group to free itself from this situation. It must be stressed that a quorum must be met in order for this to occur. It is suggested that this information be contemplated with serious consideration for the opportunity that is within it. End chapter 11.